Saudi Arabia versus Argentina. I was so skeptical when I saw the lineup and Martinez wasn't on the lineup.
Yep. Because
I don't know, it's big 2022.
coming into this World Cup, that was as an Argentine fan for this World Cup, that was one of the biggest things I was afraid about. Okay, they're gonna have Lautaro Martinez, the proper bulldog in the back that can pass, and they didn't start him.
Bro, so that was what it was for me, and thankfully, both goals, or the goals that Saudi Arabia scored Argentina, came as a result of defensive errors, poor defending by either Sergio Romero or Otamendi. And immediately the coach noticed and he had to bring him out.
Yeah, and you have to and given the tactics of how Saudi played with the high line, a passing centre back like Lisandro would have made perfect sense, because they were trying to play one ball over the top, and if you have a centre back who specializes in passing the ball, play him. But that didn't happen. But I feel like we have to give credit to Saudi Arabia. World Cup. So the World Cup has started. This is the first time we've seen you guys in the World Cup started, and it's been off to a bang. There's been moment after moment, late goal, referee decisions, upsets, everything you could have wished for in the first round of games. And we're here with you to walk you through our top 5 moments of the World Cup. Woo. You can let us know your top 5 moments in the comment section below. As always, it's an interactive show. We want to hear from you guys as well. Normal P. So first of all, Tele's going to kick us off with our number 5 moments of the World Cup so far.
Yeah, so unanimously, our number 5 moments of the World Cup so far happens to be 2 different matches, right? The biggest scoring games in the World Cup up until this moment, especially in Matchday 1. It was England 6-2 against Iran, and the Spain versus Costa Rica game that ended 7-0. Personally, for me, the reason why that match stood out was because Costa Rica had a very, very good defensive record coming into the World Cup. They have been a very, very good side when it comes to their defensive play. But Spain came and basically unlocked everything that they thought, was going to bar the goals, and they shipped 7.
So Spain sent out a serious message in the first game of the group stage. They showed that tiki-taka is alive and well. Luis Enrique coming into this tournament, I believe he's the best manager on display, and he's definitely proved that. The young boys are balling out. How do you see them?
Yeah, I mean, it's a different generation compared to the guys that won their last World Cup. And that entire campaign, they ended up scoring 8 goals in their World Cup triumph. But now, they started with 7 against Costa Rica.
The first game of the tournament, they scored 7.
And they lost the first game that tournament, and now they've flown out the blocks this tournament. Maybe this is a bad sign.
7 against Costa Rica is a very, very impressive game. It's a younger generation, like I said earlier on. The young guys are coming up, different tactics, but still the same tiki-taka. And even though Brazil are my favorite, but Spain, they could still go on to...
They put out a message, like tiki-taka, 1,000 passes, 80% possession, was Spain for at its finest. On to our number 4 moment. Do you want to tell us our number 4 moment? Again, this is...
First off, I think it's interesting that we just overlooked England's win against Very interesting. So, but there was really not much to say about it, if we're being honest.
It seemed pretty routine for the English boys. They ran through them. It was good to see Saka, Sterling, and Rashford. Saka and Rashford especially make up for what happened at the Euros and come out firing. Rashford scored immediately. And a special shout out to Jude Bellingham, who had a great game in his World Cup debut.
Definitely. Something we could have actually talked about is England conceding 2, having started very well in the game. But we expected it, starting Maguire and having John Stones. We expected that England would concede goals.
No, come on, Maguire is a different player when he plays for England.
Yeah, they decent game, but
he always has decent games when he plays for England.
On to our 4th moment of the tournament. Do you want to tell us our 4th moment?
Yeah, Ronaldo, my man. I mean, he said in his mouth that records are after him, and once again, he broke the record. He's the first player now to score in 5 different World Cups, and also a bit somehow not a good record, but he's the 2nd player now to captain a World Cup side not attached to a club, because currently he's a free agent, so he's only the 2nd player to.
Speaking of record chasing him, with that goal, he also became Portugal's oldest scorer in the World Cup, and he also has a record for the youngest scorer in the World Cup. So the record chase Ronaldo, he might not have a club, but Why didn't the club if you're Cristiano Ronaldo? Maybe the clubs need him.
Another record, interestingly, he ended up being the man of the match at the end of that game, and he now is the player with the highest number of man of the match awards in World Cup history. With that game, he had 7 man of the match awards. I mean, dubious call in my opinion, giving him the man of the match award, but it is what it is. What was that man of the match? As opposed to Bruno,
Bruno Fernandes. I'll go with Bruno Fernandes. Yeah. Bruno had shout out to Bruno Fernandes. He had a special game. He used the ball very well.
Definitely.
2 great passes for 2 of the goals. Shout out Bruno Fernandes.
In moments where there was a lot of pressure
they
for
mattered.
the team.
So, and while we're touching on Ronaldo and fine wine, we'll shout out to Olivier Giroud, a player that, say what you like about Giroud, the CV speaks for itself at this point. He's a Champions League winner, a World Cup winner. You can say maybe France should have started him, they're going to miss Benzema, but Giroud, he blocked out that noise and he performed the other day.
Definitely.
2 goals, now France's joint all-time top scorer with Thierry Henry. What can you say about him?
That is excellent company to be called in, Thierry Henry, who I personally believe is the greatest ever player to play in the English Premier League. And Giroud is now playing, for France. And he's bagged 51 goals. That's no mean feat.
And he got his debut at like 25, so he bloomed late, but it's just a testament to if you work hard, you can. Yeah, definitely. Things happen for you.
And just like you said, say whatever you like about Giroud, he's a very important part of that world, France.
And he's proving it. He's proving it game after game. Number 3 moment of the World Cup so far, we have a new R9 in town. Richarlison stepped up for Brazil, one of our favorites coming into the tournament. So Serbia put up a tough fight to begin with, but the quality showed at the end. And that second goal, I think that might be, it's a goal of the round for me so far. The touch and the finish to life.
Very, very, very massive goal for his own confidence, if we're being honest. But one thing I actually wanted to point out is, it's easy to look at the flashy goals, but that first goal was a proper number 9 goal, and that would give him a world of confidence, a poacher's goal, and it came at a time where Brazil seemed to be having problems unlocking that Serbia defense, and from that goal onwards, it was playing.
And shout out to Vinicius too.
Yeah, most definitely.
Vini Breaker got down the left flank all game. Okay, and now number 2 moment.
Yep, number 2 moment. That was a very, very interesting moment for me. It was Bril Embolo's goal for Switzerland against Cameroon. That was a moment that we have not seen ever in World Cup history. A player scoring against his home country, quote and unquote. So that could have been an own goal.
Yep.
But it wasn't. He was representing Switzerland on the night, and he scored against Cameroon, his birth country, where his father actually still resides. And he celebrated by not celebrating.
It must have been an awkward day at home for the Embolo family. But I feel like it's a visible reminder and a visible representation of how Africans in diaspora are shaping European football, and how a lot of the major countries, like England's national team is filled with Africans in diaspora. Then you've got Belgium, you've got France as well. So now to actually see a player score against his national team and be faced with it, it was touching. And
definitely.
I can imagine how we felt.
Definitely touching moment. And that's why it's our number 2 moment.
And our number 1 moment.
Saudi Arabia versus Argentina. I was so skeptical when I saw the lineup and Martinez wasn't on the lineup.
Yep. Because
I don't know, it's big 2022.
Coming into this World Cup, that was as an Argentine fan for this World Cup, that was one of the biggest things I was afraid about. Okay, they're gonna have Lautaro Martinez, the proper bulldog in the back that can pass, and they didn't start him.
Bro, so that was what it was for me. And thankfully, both goals, or the goals that Saudi Arabia scored Argentina, came as a result of defensive errors, poor defending by either Sergio Romero or Otamendi. And immediately the coach noticed and he had to bring him out.
Yeah, and he had to and given the tactics of how Saudi played with the high line, a passing centre back like Lisandro would have made perfect sense, because they were trying to play one ball over the top. And if you have a centre back who specializes in passing the ball, play him. But that didn't happen. But I feel like we have to give credit to Saudi Arabia. Argentina didn't just lose that match. Saudi Arabia won that match.
Actually did play well.
They won that match.
Exactly. Massive props to Hervé Renard, who is no doubt one of the best coaches also in the tournament.
For sure.
International Federation. The team performance.
Yeah,
team
definitely.
Performance from Saudi Arabia. And that's what happens when you take all the focus to a particular player, maybe in Messi. I might be wrong, but then football is a team sport. Saudi Arabia, they went in there with the spirit
played
of
as a team.
They went in
we
there
are
with a
we are playing
plan,
as a team.
they had
understand?
passion, and they executed. Like that high line, they caught Argentina offside 3 times. Argentina were offside more times in this match than they were in the entire last World Cup. And to drill a defensive unit in international football, where it's not a club and you're seeing them week in, week out, and get them to play a high line to that level of perfection. He's the manager of the tournament for me so far.
So
for that
far,
display.
Matchday won manager of the tournament.
So that is our top 5 moments of the FIFA World Cup so far. A few other things I wanted to mention. VAR has played an interesting role.
Yep.
There's also something we've noticed with the extra time being extremely long in these matches. I don't know how you guys feel about that. How do you
Personally, I do not like how much extra time
Why
we're
not?
having. This is a tournament where we're having players wilt under this, under the pressure of the weather, under the pressure of the sun, the heat, and everything. So while you making players play, these guys are going to have a very short break before they return to their team side. So it does not bode well for player fitness.
I definitely see that point. But ultimately, I feel like I like the idea of the amount of extra time that there is should be put on to the end of the game. And you said the fact that in football, like managers like Simeone, you play a match with them and then you see a stat that the ball was in play for 60 minutes of the 90 minutes. Now, we must pay those 90 minutes. Other kicking the ball, and we're actually going to stop it, and we're actually going to add that time back on to actually pay 90 minutes. And I feel like it's good to see. And I feel like we're going to see a lot of late goals. Like there was a match earlier today. This is the start of game week 2, but because they went to 10 minutes extra time, like just that pressure. I think it makes for exciting matches because just that pressure of a team is about to score and the defenders trying to hang on for 10 minutes instead of 5 minutes. Like we're going to see those big moments more and more in football. Definitely. But I do agree that now is probably not the time considering we're playing so much football now.
Exactly.
So to compile the football right now, maybe it's not the right time. And that's like everything around this World Cup. The timing has just been
off.
Yeah, so having said all that, what are your predictions for these 2 highest goal scorer?
For the 2 highest goal scorers, do you mean for the 2 highest goal scoring countries or for the 2 highest goal scorers in individuals like Richarlison?
The tournament.
I think my golden boot is still. I think I still got Kylian Mbappe as my golden boot. No.
Oh, that's a bit cool. What about you?
Golden boot. I'm leaning towards Richarlison now.
Fair enough, I think they're going to go all the way. But I think the more important question is we've seen one game week. Who looks like the favorite now? Has anything changed for you or what? Who looks like the favorite?
No, I went into the game backing Brazil. We backed Brazil. But then now, anybody feel collects. Like the way it is, it's open. Anybody feel collect. Look at what happened to Argentina. Look at what happened to Germany too. Yeah. So it's anyone's game.
I think I'll still go with Karen.
Yeah, so that's definitely what I wanted to say, just to buttress his point. This has been a World Cup of upsets. And we've come to see smaller teams, or especially the Asian teams that have played in the Asian Cup before this World Cup,
bring it.
Put a lot on the line. And it gives me a little bit of doubt. So now I think that one of the teams that we did not really look at before the World Cup is going to end up in the World Cup. Beyond any imagination, we did not think that Spain were going to be this good, especially with what we saw in that first game. So Spain, I'll put them in the hat, and Japan, that I tipped to do very well in this World Cup, I'm putting them in the hat too.
Yeah, so fair enough. I still have Brazil. I feel like of our favorites coming in, they've been the most impressive in their first game. And Spain, I've always liked Spain. I think Luis Enrique is the best manager at the tournament. And they're really dark horse. And obviously, for the first game, is anything to go by. Take them very seriously.
Where's Messi?
So on to, speaking of Spain, Spain lost their first match in the World Cup in the year they won the World Cup. So he just needs to win his next 2 games. So now it's pressure time. Now moving on quickly to the fantasy version of the World Cup. Currently at the top of our Sangalooo Fantasy League is Nkunu's team. He's racked up 71 points so far. He has a pretty good team. So he had Mbappe, Lewan, Bellingham, and Enner Valencia. Some we didn't mention, but had a great start to the World Cup.
Definitely, the first game of the tournament. Enner Valencia.
I'm not doing great in the league so far, but just like Argentina, my goat Messi will be back. So make sure you play our Fantasy Premier League. You can still join the league. It will just bring in your points. We might think about the rules. You can't join in the last minute and try and win the prize. Maybe you need to. If you're not there by the knockout stage, it's nothing for you. So thanks for rocking with us in yet another episode of Sangalooo. Let us know your favorite moments of the World Cup round and your predictions for the next round. It was nice to rocking with you once more.
Peace.